I'm not sure. Hey, what's up? What do you think about Donna Hilton, one of the leaders of the Women's March, being convicted of kidnapping, torturing, and murdering a man? Striking against patriarchy, or what do you think about that? No? Linda Sarsour supports Sharia law.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure. Shoot.
Why are you here?
I'm trying to challenge people's preconceptions, and I'm also trying to get some information. Also trying to get some information about how Trump supposedly is limiting women's rights in this country.
Why are you here?
I just explained myself in detail.
Why are you here with a bunch of people who obviously don't think the same way as you? You're out of place here.
That doesn't make sense. We should all have diverging opinions. We should all be challenging our preconceived notions and being challenging. This guy doesn't agree. Your handler here doesn't agree. I think we should all be challenging and skeptical of everything we hear.
It's too intellectual.
I'm no intellectual like powerhouse, but at least I'm trying to get as close to the truth as I can. Hey, how you doing, man? I saw that you followed me over here. How you doing? I like your cyborg glasses. It fits you really well. I like your Cyclops. I see you trailed me over here, so you got something to say?
Sorry, what are you taking pictures of you?
No, not actively. I was taking pictures of the event. You just kind of followed me over here. Now you're taking a picture of me. How's it going? You're getting my not good side, but slightly less shitty side. Slightly less shitty side, yeah.
Alright, let's get that side. Yeah.
What are you taking? Are you taking this for like Facebook or what's that for?
Just, we like to know who's taking pictures of our friends.
Yeah, look it up. It's Durst on YouTube.
Durst?
Yeah.
What is your first name?
It's just that's what it is.
Durst. And so what do you do with your pictures?
It's not picture, it's video. It's just entertaining, sort of informative.
Was it $20,000 for a picture?
I guess you could say guerrilla-style journalism. Yeah.
I hear you're kind of a pro-Trump guy.
No.
No?
No, I'm not.
That's what I heard.
I just challenged the notion that I guess like, well, I asked what are some of the things he's done that are anti-woman as far as policy, and they immediately went to the pussy-grabbing rhetoric, and I was questioning as to whether or not we even know anything about that, or if it was just sort of a hypothetical thing he was saying off the cuff. You know what I mean?
Is that the most important thing we got to worry about right now?
No, it's not, quite frankly. And I was trying to go back to the policy substance, but they wouldn't let me. They just called me a men's rights advocate. As a pejorative. I don't know if, number one, I don't know why they call me that, and number two, I don't know why that's insulting to people.
Where do you put your political, where do you see yourself politically?
Unaffiliated.
Oh, yeah?
Got some liberal views, some conservative views.
What, do you sort of, do you like satirize stuff like this?
I don't know about you, but I've had...
How could you not satirize that?
Well, that is kind of satire, right?
Yeah.
Who isn't working?
I mean, if it's entertaining, then that's cool. If it blows the lid off a big story, that's also cool.
None of them. I didn't have...
I don't really... I'm kind of neutral as far as that's concerned. The intent is to just capture what's going on and challenge people's preconceived notions on things, and sort of be.
Do you have a website that you play it on?
Just look up DUERST.
DUERST.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take a look at it. And Scott Walker, why do you think we're booing? Who do you think we're booing?
It seemed like you were booing the cops.
Walker and Trump. It seems like it, but we're not.
Walker and Trump are doing nothing to protect our right to do this.
Well, what do you think they should be doing? What do you think they should be doing to help working people? Trump and Walker.
Can we start with like single-payer health care for one?
Okay.
This guy's like a right-wing.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Well, what is? How? First of all, how do you know I'm right wing? And second of all, why is that automatically bad?
You don't deserve for us to talk to you. Who the hell are you?
I'm Dan.
I know, but why?
No, you. Oh, you do. You know me?
Apparently, lots of people know you.
I think they're making up stuff, and this guy's been trailing me like a creepy cyborg ninja or something.
What would you do to help people that are poor,
Let's
that are
see.
living in poverty?
I think one of the main things, especially in the inner city, would be this would actually be a conservative view I have, is the single motherhood rating is 70% among blacks. Did you know that?
You don't know shit about other people. You know about you. And you're oh my God.
So, wait, do you deny that fact? Do you deny that fact? 70% single motherhood in the black community. Did you know that?
What about that?
That is a huge intergenerational poverty predictor.
Yes, it is. And
So why did she just yell at me? Why did she just yell at me for pointing that out?
So what do you do about it? Not throwing out statistics is not solving any problem.
Well, the first step would not be to flip out whenever someone brings that up. That would be step number one.
So what you propose, sterilizing women so that they can't have children? Is that what we're going to get to here?
That was such a leap.
What is your plan for helping those people?
We just need a general sort of cultural reform.
And how are you going to make that happen?
Well, I think we could
By being divisive, like Trump, the great uniter who's going to bring us all together? It's not doing very well at that.
I mean, I don't think it's. I mean, the POTUS doesn't really have as much power as you think he does.
Oh, no, I
know what I mean?
exactly how much
I don't
power
think
he has. I've been in political stuff since 1960.
But you know, so we can't acknowledge that a kid has less of a chance of success if they don't have a complete intact family unit.
Not necessarily.
Actually, the data is not. I'm a sociologist. I've seen.
Okay, so you have a useless degree. Okay.
I come from a welfare
We at least
family,
act based
and I
on
made it
evidence.
big.
What's that?
I come from a welfare family, single parent.
I came from a single. I came from a single mom, and I suffered socially because of it. Absolutely. I think that.
I think maybe you're a little too sensitive. You suffered socially for that.
Okay, so.
I'm saying, do you have two parents? By the way, do you have two parents?
Wait, you just said I'm too sensitive. But wait a minute. I thought it was the feminist contention that men can't express their
feelings. Did you grow up in a family with
feelings.
two parents?
Wait a minute.
My father was on
Wait a
welfare.
minute. Can you back up? You just said I'm too sensitive. I thought it was the feminist notion that men should be able to express their
I'm not
feelings.
talking about that.
I thought toxic masculinity. I thought toxic masculinity was a problem.
He doesn't want to have a conversation.
No,
I thought.
I'm still waiting to hear
He's
what
trying to
your plan
convince us of his dick. Just
I
leave him go.
understand
What about my dick? That was a sexist fucking comment.
You
Yeah, it was
said we
intended
need
to
to
be.
deal with.
Damn,
this
so here we
problem
have
in
the
inner
feminist
city of
left's
having
level of discourse.
75% single mother families. What are you going to do about that?
Well,
Standing out here and saying it isn't solving the problem. What are you going to do?
what are you gonna do about it? Yell at me?
No, I'm not yelling at you.
Oh, you're gonna call me accuse me of wanting to sterilize people in response to bringing it up?
I asked you that. Is that one of the things that would solve that problem that you have in mind?
We have to encourage a
simple
better
answer is
culture.
yes or
We have
no.
to encourage a
And
better
how do we
culture.
do that?
Encouragement, just generally. Scammers, what do you mean?
Exactly. How do you do that?
How do you do it? Give me some of your ideas.
We're talking about your ideas right now. We're talking about how you're going to solve this problem with 75% of young people in inner city families growing up with a single parent. And your solution to that is to change the culture. How are you going to do that?
You know, he's kind of a waste.
I know, but
You're doing a great job.
I don't think you're really making an argument at all.
I'm not. I'm asking you for your views on things.
I'm quite specifically. She asked you a question.
A very specific question.
But you don't even want to acknowledge that it's a problem.
Oh no, it's a problem.
You want to call people racist. She
No,
flipped
no.
shit on me for saying
It is a problem that so many children in the inner city are growing up in poverty.
Yeah, and they're going to terrible public schools that we're paying $15,000 a student for.
What are you going to do about that?
Whose fault is that?
Is that the schools
The
are bad?
teachers unions that only care about money?
Honey, it's not. It's because they're defunding the public schools.
We pay 15 G's a student.
No, they don't.
Yeah, we do. Our property taxes are huge in Wisconsin.
They don't.
Well, you know you get what you
Our property taxes are
We've
huge.
been defunding the schools for years. And since Scott Walker's been terrible defunding. funding. There are no resources in the schools, and they're not terrible schools.
MPS is horrendous.
Teacher, and I'm a
MPS
great
is
teacher.
horrendous.
Thank you.
Okay, so what do you have to say about the 50% graduation rate, the 50% illiteracy rate at MPS? Then let's change that. Let's change that.
What do you have to say about that?
I have to say let's get rid of all this like diversity studies and like just this nonsense sociology studies and like teach actual curriculum. You know, don't accuse people of being right-wing racist nut jobs for bringing up these facts
That
and saying.
happen in public schools. Teachers don't stand up and here there and say, "Would all the right-wing racist people here please stand up? Let's identify you right out." That doesn't.
So you don't understand. You don't understand the environment in higher education. Then you don't understand. Okay, so do you know about what's happening at Evergreen? You know about what's happening at Evergreen State College in Olympia right now?
I don't know Evergreen.
Okay, they had a no whites day. Okay, did you know that? And one of the professors, Brett Weinstein, one of the professors, Brett Weinstein, said, "I really don't think that's a good idea. I think that's divisive, and I think it's kind of racist and bad." They flipped shit on him, and they basically like cornered him in his office, chanting, "Hey, hey, ho, ho! Racist teachers got to go." They demanded his firing.
What do you want me to say? I disapprove of that.
Okay, so you agree that you agree that okay, so you implicitly agree that education has a extremist leftist bias.
Don't generalize from a very specific statement I said. I said I disapproved of the specific methods used by those specific people in that specific situation.
So you're going to be called a racist for saying that. No. You know that, right?
Also, to be clear, right, it was the students that got upset.
And the faculty are taking their side. And the administration and faculty are taking their side.
It's incorrect.
It's absolutely correct, dude. Dude, Brett Weinstein had to teach his class in the park because they were going to go for his head. There were marauding gangs of bat-wielding, deranged psychos walking around campus.
Are you aware that whenever we touch on your views of an issue that's very difficult, you are now shifting the topic to something else? Are you worried?
I'm just talking about the general. You were telling me that I could bring up these issues, but I'm trying to tell you that the environment in education is such that you cannot bring that up because you're going to be called a racist, bigot, classist, homophobe. You have to check your white male privilege. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff. You're aware of like that vernacular, right?
I'm aware that there are people that behave that way. Yes. I'm also aware that there are
the majority of people at this protest would agree that I need to check my white male privilege for bringing up the 70%.
Do you know what that means? What does that mean to you?
It means it's a shutdown tactic. It's an unsubstantive. It's a non-argument.
When you engage with the idea of privilege, how does it make you feel? Like what does it mean to you?
I just interpret it as someone trying to shut down my argument in the absence of one of their own.
But think of the words. Think of the words. White male privilege. What does that mean?
Bullshit, Marxist nonsense.
You are aware that for most of the history of this country, that white people have had advantages over black people.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Is that the case now?
You will.
What law is in place that benefits white people?
You will acknowledge that over the history of the United States, that men have had benefits not available to women.
Select few men did, yes.
When women couldn't vote. When women couldn't
but
jobs,
non-property owners couldn't vote either for a long time.
That's right.
And in Britain, it was Britain, it was only a 10-year difference as far as that's concerned. So what's your? That's a non-point.
No, the point.
That's a non-point.
If you acknowledge that the history of this country,
I don't acknowledge your argument's ridiculous. How does that bear out today, though?
The point is this. If you let me finish what I'm saying, if you acknowledge that this country has given benefits to males that women haven't had in its history, given benefits to whites that colored people have not had its history, people of color.
That's different somehow.
No, it isn't.
You flip the words around and somehow it's different.
If you acknowledge those things, you also then have to acknowledge that people who grew up in that safer environment could not relate directly to the experiences of people who did not grow up.
So you believe in a universal lived experience,
No,
basically.
I
no, that
believe
implicit. Your argument implicitly entails
no,
that you
don't tell
agree
me
that
what my
all
argument entails.
you agree that you believe that
my
all
argument-
black people have the same exact experience.
I didn't say
all
that.
white people have the same exact experience.
I did not say that.
It's
Check
implicit
your
in what you're saying.
No, it isn't.
How?
Check
How is
your
that?
recording.
How is that?
I didn't
The
say
notion of white male privilege implicitly entails that all white men have the exact same experience.
No,
I
it
guess
doesn't.
This is
All white men have privilege, right?
So I guess this is
all
this is
white
my-
men have, in some instance of their life, have been privileged over people
In an
of color.
unquantifiable,
Over
unverifiable,
women.
unfalsifiable manner.
You said,
point is
can I
you-
ask you,
Go ahead.
you said you came from a single family.
Yeah, and I had a lot of disadvantages because of that.
Absolutely, totally.
Yeah, socially, absolutely, yes. And then they told me to stop being sensitive. Was it you who told me to stop being sensitive?
No, I
Oh,
asked
toxic
if you were-
masculinity,
It
right?
wasn't
Men aren't
about
allowed
that.
to express their emotions.
That wasn't about
The only time I'm not allowed to express my emotions is around fucking feminists, dude.
You know what?
That's the only time.
You know what one of your problems is?
Feminism
in dealing
and
with
leftism.
people is that
Yeah.
you don't stop long enough to listen. He's trying to say
Dude,
something.
you assume I haven't been having this drilled in my head my entire life in
I'm
public
assuming
school.
Right now is you're getting really emotionally hijacked, and that's not conducive to
But dude, see, this entire thing is emotional, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
This entire thing.
Totally, right? So
She flipped out on me emotionally when I brought up the single motherhood or the single parent.
So as we talk about these things and we say things like flipped out, like let's not like, you know, people are people and people have emotions and all of those emotions are totally valid, yours included.
So when you were following me around, sort of like not saying anything, what emotions do you think that I was feeling at the time?
He can't name your emotions.
Yeah.
Only you can.
Well, my white male privilege, I guess, precludes me from.
I want to say one more
certain
thing
thing.
about that without you interrupting. May I do that? The existence of the fact that white people and males versus females have had advantages in our history means that people who live that experience cannot, at a gut level, understand the experience of people outside of that group.
I've heard that
That's
argument a
all
million
that means.
times. Okay, did you know that? Did you know that 60% of bachelor's degree, associate's degree, and master's degree holders are women? Did you know that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so
Women-
maybe you need to
women
check your
have-
female privilege. See, I can make that ridiculous argument in the
That
same
has
way.
nothing
Can I-
to do with that. People
I-
who choose education,
Can I
if
come at
women
this?
choose
But it's the same. It's the same thing for men, because the argument coming from feminists would be, oh, on average, men make more 23% more on average than women, right?
which is
Okay,
true.
so then what's the problem? They work longer hours on average. They work more dangerous
For the same-
jobs.
for the same
Different
hours, same
work.
job.
Different work. No, on
Yeah,
average.
right.
On average.
But look at the stats for those who work
You have
the
not
same
looked at
in
the
the same
stats.
conditions.
You have not looked at the stats. Men tend to work longer hours at more physically demanding jobs.
Nobody's talking about the total amount of money. It's what.
No, that's where the wage gap statistic comes from.
The wage gap statistic is based on the amount earned per hour.
So okay,
Not for
let me
like
get this.
60 hours versus 40
Wait a minute.
hours.
Okay, so you think that if we take a woman McDonald's employee and a man McDonald's employee, the man will be making $10 an hour and the women will be making
No, I didn't
$70 an
say
hour?
that. I
That's
did
what
not
you
say
just
that.
argued.
No, I didn't. I never.
You just said the
mentioned
wages
McDonald's.
for the same job are disparate between men and women.
In many fields, not all fields, and I never mentioned
No fields. That is a
McDonald's.
federal offense to do that. It's a federal offense since the mid-1960s.
It should
Kennedy, a patriarchal white male, put that into law.
Yeah, he did a few things
So,
that were good.
so the wage gap is a misrepresentation of the stats. You know that. Come on.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
There is a wage gap.
It's a median earnings gap.
If you look at
It's a
people-
median earnings gap.
If you take like 10 people, 5 of them women and 5 of them males, and you put them in a business of some kind or a corporation of some kind, and look at their wages after 10 years, you are likely to see the men earning more than the women. Earning more per hour
You know what
than
the word?
the women.
You know what the word "earn" means, ma'am?
Well, it's an average. It's a word that's misused a lot. We'll put it
You know
that
what the
way.
word "earn" means?
Are being paid
Okay,
for
so
no reason other than the fact that these are males and these are females.
What evidence do you? That's a federal offense to do that.
Look up the data online.
The data is that men tend to work longer hours. They tend to take on higher responsibility in the workplace. They tend to be the sole breadwinners in the family, right? They tend to die more often at work, right? So all of that factors into why, on average, men make more money, and the wage gap, as presented by modern third wave and intersectional feminists, is a myth.
The reason that we didn't flag him is because he's carrying signage and he checked in with people first.
But he's dressed like a marauding pirate ninja warrior, and he's trying to menace me.
No, he's not trying to menace you. He is trying to come across as not being. He doesn't want this president. He's voicing his opinion about this president.
By going,
You're supporting.
Well, he already saw what you were doing.
Dressed up in ninja cosplay.
He already saw what you were doing to people.
Doing to people. I was putting forth arguments.
No, you were attacking women out there.
How was I attacking women?
You were telling them what they were doing was wrong.
Which is let doctors.
Wait a minute. So you're saying that you're effectively saying that women are not grounds for criticism.
You are telling women what they were doing was wrong.
I told them
Give me some money for a bra.
Hello, my name is Jane. I'm social justice waste. Agree with me or you'll be shamed. Hello, my name is Jane. I'm social justice waste.